Demonstration. So can everybody see me in the video? You guys see all the blue stuff behind me, right? And I'm orange and red. So what this camera will actually do is it's going to take what's in the screen and give us the highs and lows. So if you take me, which I'm the high, you take me out, you see how it fluctuated? Everything above me now has reds and oranges in it instead of all that blue. What we're looking for inside this camera is going to be blue spots, because ghosts are cold, right? Cold spots. That's a pretty common thing. We're looking for those orbs that are intelligent, that are going to be moving around. The other cool thing about this camera is anything that is solid in structure should get a white outline around it. So in the event we actually have a moving orb or a moving spirit with us, there will be a white line around it so we can actually identify it. Sometimes it comes by as just a cold breeze of air. We've caught things to where we couldn't explain it, where it just kind of moved along something and the camera was perfectly still, moved across somebody so that way we can identify it. That's what we're looking for. So with this, you guys claim that you guys actually want to see some ghosts, right? It wasn't you that texted me that said you guys want to see a ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a sharing type gadget. It is a little heavier than a cell phone because there's a battery pack on the back. Pay no attention to the time span that's on there. So all it's doing is charging the camera. The camera's only meant to last an hour. Okay, so I needed something that's going to last more than an hour, obviously. So
does it have zoom functions or anything like that? I don't touch it at all.
Nope. All you'll need to do is when you try to be as slow and still as possible, you keep it horizontal.
I can be slow and still.
Yeah, that's a good one for him.
And the red square that you see on there means that it's recording. In the event that that turns into a circle, just tap it again, and the group will have 2 videos. Okay. Hopefully no more than that.
Okay.
Okay, is that fair?
Yep.
All right. So you guys are going to be using several spirit boxes tonight. This is the first one. This one gives me probably the most activity. However, this is also the one that does not record. So what I need out of the persons on this one is to actually speak up. They need to tell me what's actually happening with this particular gadget. That way we can catch it on my audio that stays on me. Which, by the way, let me turn that on. Correct?
11.
July 11th, 9 p.m. That'll stay with me all night. So I'm gonna turn this on so everybody can kind of get a gist of what this does. All right. See how quickly it's sweeping through the radio stations? If we're actually meant to hear something, it's gonna stop for a split second longer, and you're gonna actually hear a DJ, a song lyric, a disembodied voice over top of that static where it won't stop. So, you seem like you're pretty apt to this.
No, I went and turned my phone down.
No. Well, I'm thinking you're already pretty chatty, like you've been pretty talkative. And I need you, who's the person you need to convince the most? Okay, so the 2 of you are going to share this one. It's already sweeping. The only thing you need to do is when I'm talking and you want to hear more stories, there's a button right here in the back of the speaker. It's just the power button. You just turn it on and off. So we're going to let it sweep all night long. And you don't need to do anything but hold it and listen. So the 2 of you, when you hear something, you need to tell me what it says. Is that fair? Okay.
I think that's the perfect gadget for you. Don't you think?
It's the exact same one.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping to take pictures with my cell phone,
You were
but
the one asking me if
you
this was
can do
scary,
that.
correct?
Yes.
My
Okay,
phone is
so
dead
this is an
almost,
EMF
so just
detector.
let you
An
know.
EMF
You can
detector
take them with my
actually
phone.
detects electromagnetic fields. Okay, so this is going to go to you, so listen up. There's no attachment to this. You don't need to do anything besides hold it all night long. It's not waving around. It's not a Harry Potter wand. It's none of those things. So what does this detect? This will detect 3 types of fields. The first one comes from the earth. That's the natural. That's the green light that you all see now. Okay? It'll detect man-made objects, like a cell phone, a wire that's live. It's going to give us a pulse or a rhythm. Okay? This is an actual tool that, again, electricians would actually use. In the event we actually have some paranormal activity, this will go crazy and erratic, meaning we won't be able to make sense of any kind of rhythm or pattern. It is up to you, because it doesn't make any noise, to tell us when it's going crazy.
Okay.
How will you know it?
Give me your cell
You'll have to
phone,
watch
because
it.
you'll...
Actually,
Okay.
it won't,
Yeah.
unless it's really on top of it.
She'll leave.
Okay.
He doesn't need it anyway.
watching the cell phone and the thing sounding like.
The lights go crazy. Is that what she's watching for?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Let's see.
Don't do that to me.
You need to pay attention to that. So you guys have been pretty quiet back here, so I'm going to give you guys actually another spirit box. This is the one that will record. It's doing the exact same thing that spirit box is doing, but they're not synced up, so don't expect that they're going to be matchy in any way. So I'm going to start the sweep on this one. Again, you guys already know what it sounds like. So, static, right? So the only thing you guys need to do is there's a volume turnstile right here. The letters SD on the main screen tell us that it's recording. We want it to record all night long. It's not going to record our voices. It's only going to record what's actually coming through. So when you guys hear something, you can tell us. But because you guys have been so quiet, I can still get the proof. So be careful of this little there's an actual button right there that goes left and right. That'll turn it on and off, and then we'll have to reset it to start recording. You'll have to.
She said she felt cold in.
If it turns style
Somebody
out,
breathing on
turn
it?
it up, and then it turns style in.
No, it's 2 streets down.
Are you kidding?
No, somebody else just stopped and thought they were part of this. Yeah.
2 blocks down.
And to the left. 2 blocks and to the left. You up.
These Uber drivers do not know.
No, they don't.
With this one, you just turn the volume up when you're ready to.
I'd be mad
Nope,
if
you
they
just hit the
don't
power
know
button on the
the wrong
speaker.
floor.
It's
I'd
on
have
one
to
button.
walk all that way.
Alright, digital camera. You savvy? It's pretty simple. It's a point and shoot. Again, no people. When you're using this is waterproof and it's shockproof. So if she drops it, it's okay. We're not going to freak out, everybody.
Okay, good.
Reason why I got it. So, literally, power button. I have the flash off. We're going to leave it that way. And it's got a little bit of condensation from the humidity. So I think we're good. We do not want false positive. That's why the flash is off. So we don't want a flash to reflect off of a window, a car, or anything and kind of give us that false positive. Alright, so who left does not have a gadget? Pair, you don't have anything. You two don't have anything.
He doesn't.
That's all right, I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
I am too.
Hang on.
You're with me.
I got stuff.
Yeah, okay, good.
We're thermal imaging.
I got
I don't want
stuff.
anything else.
You don't even know. Alright. So, this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. You guys are not going to remember a damn thing by morning. Erase all your memories. This is a grid pen. Okay? So, this will help us see things that we cannot see with the naked eye. How cool is that, right? Just let me demonstrate a little bit. So, in the event we actually get something passing by, it's not going to hover. It's going to be very quick. It's going to look like a flash. Okay? That's how that's going to go. Do a further demonstration. You guys all know I vape. You all walked by me earlier. So we get them green streaks, right? Yeah. Sorry if I got smoke in anybody's face. So keep in mind, the ghost is not going to hang out inside the green dots. But when we're using this guy, and again, this is a laser, okay? That laser goes pretty far. Like it will shoot a good 150 yards or so. We can still see it minusculely, but we can still see it. So, responsible adult, this one's going to go to you because we can't use it everywhere anyway.
Okay. Did I shine into the airplane?
No. Don't wave any of them down. I'm triggering any missile loss, right? We got another one. This one's an actual grid. Reason for this. Yeah, this is going to be all about you. So in the event we actually capture something in the center of this, we have a full grid, right? 3D software uses grids to create a 3D image. In the event you actually capture something with the camera from the gentleman that's going to be using this, I can turn that into a full 3D image and you guys will actually have something to see what apparition we actually caught. Again, laser, you seem pretty timid and laid back. I'm going to assume you're not going to be flashing anybody or waving any things down. That one only has a toggle switch of on and off. Very, very simple. Alright, where was I? So, I'm losing names again. Heather. Alright. Where are they? Sorry guys, new bag, testing it out. Again, Amazon Prime. Ordered it yesterday, it was here this morning. I love it. So, pair, yes, no.
I guess, kind of good.
Yes. Again, responsible adults with lasers, folks. Hang on. Hear me out. All right. So let's say Ken, was it?
Yep.
Let's say Ken actually captures something cold on his thermal camera. I want to debunk it before we get excited. I'm not going to make stuff up for you guys. I already promised you that. So let's say he shoots the wall up there and he says, there's a blue spot right above your head, Heather, and we take the thermo gun and we see that the wall is the same temperature. Okay, not a big deal. We move on. We debunked. It's the wall. Something behind it is making it colder for whatever reason. But let's say that the wall is actually quite warmer than what he's getting on a reading from his thermal camera. That's where this guy comes into play. So now, this is a psychrometer. This is actually meant to measure humidity, and y'all don't want to know that number because it is humid. The bottom number on this, Heather, gives us the ambient temperature. So what does that mean? That means something between Ken and the wall is cold, and this will measure it, and we'll be able to find an exact cold spot. Because now we know with this guy, it's not the actual wall. This is also good for kind of giving us a base temperature of all the way around us, keeping it out of windows and cars and those kind of things. So these are not super active tools for us, but they are helping us debunk things that we might feel or see later on the video. So those go to you. You're in charge of temperature. All right. Questions, comments on the gadgets y'all have? Because there's more. I'm going to be using a few things because this is not complete without backups. So first off, I'm going to be using an EMF detector. So in the event Katie's fails or her batteries get drained, because it does happen, we're working with the paranormal, they will drain activity.
Flickering. Look, I'm flickering.
I have a backup just in case.
It's not flickering. It's hard. No, it is when I turn it this way.
Okay, this is the spirit box that's also sweeping radio stations that will give us the words in the center. Okay, so in the center here, words will actually pop up. It'll be up to us to determine whether they are relevant to the location or not. Last night, they actually received 71 different words. That kind of gives you a gist. So I found about 8 to 12 of those that were actually relevant. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to clear out their list because they got theirs already, and we're going to start you guys fresh. I used one more, and this is what really makes everything interesting. This is a reverse spirit box. A reverse spirit box actually takes the radio stations and flips them backwards. So it's kind of like playing a record backwards. So whatever comes out in forward motion, we were actually meant to hear. Does that make sense? So I'm going to actually play this one for you guys. I don't keep it on all night long. I just turn the volume up and down when I'm doing my own EVP sessions, walking away from you guys. So there'll be times when I'm especially staying away from the other spirit boxes so that nothing interferes. I may ask questions that may come up on your guys' spirit boxes, and they may ask a question that comes up on mine. So we're going to turn this up. Actually, let's turn it on, and so everybody can kind of get a gist of it. You can already hear it. Sounds like complete gibberish, and that's exactly what we want. So when I hear something, and it says, "Hi, Nick," I know that it said, "Hi, Nick." It actually happens quite often.
Hi, Nick. That's funny.
A lot of people get creeped out by it, and it will be on your audio because I do turn it on at various times throughout the night. So, other questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can they follow us home?
It's a possibility. However, I will tell you, and I get this question asked a lot, because I have taken some folks home with me before. I'm not a religious person, but I do kind of a little blessing on the tour and the gadgets before my day even begins. That way, whoever we're speaking with, we actually know that we're going to be legitimate. In the event that I say we need to go now, we need to go now. Is that fair? It's only happened on my tour twice in the past year, which is a good thing. When I checked in with everybody afterwards, everybody was good to go. Again, there are malevolent spirits. I'm not going to say that they're common, but I will tell you, like, this is a fun tour. I want you guys to have fun. I've had people come on this tour that I've booted off because they were looking for darker entities. I said, I'm not doing this for you. And I refunded their money. Have a nice night. This is not what I did. So, are there any other concerns about things like that? Please speak up. It's okay. This is an open group. You guys are all open-minded people except for most of you. All right. So.
Just respect what you don't understand.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, again, I'm not a religious person. That doesn't mean I don't respect religious people. And, you know, that's their faith. That's what they believe in. And this is obviously kind of my faith. This is things that I'm trying to understand so that I can write better books. It's all about profit, folks. We can't lie about it. Alright, so I already kind of gave you a hint about where we are. This was a place called Big John's, named after a football player, New York Giants, drafted 1947, played till 1952, was a linebacker. I give you clues. I'm going to tell you stories, don't get me wrong, like your other tour guides, but this is more about clues they'll be looking for and listening for them on your gadgets. So, Big John used to sit in the back of the place. It was called Big John's, named after him, in the 1970s. So we have the Citadel relatively close, just a few blocks away. The cadets would come down after training and have a few drinks. John knew everybody and would let the bartender know if they were actually of age or not. So, one night, two guys come in. They're not of age. John cuts them off. The two guys get pissed off. They leave. They come back the next night. They steal the cash register from the front of the building. Big John pulls his .45 out and he shoots one and kills him. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building. It's said that anybody that sits in the front of this building can have the option, not that they're making a choice, but they can get a little queasy, disoriented, lightheaded, headache, those kind of things. Excuse me. I tell this story here on purpose. This is why I start here. I've had to stop tours because people cannot handle the paranormal activity around them. It's okay. I know how it's going to affect me. Also realize that, I told you already, I have epilepsy. I am looked at in the spiritual world as a weak mind. That's why I'm okay with what happens to me during the tour. I'm not going to tell you my feelings and thoughts, but if I tell you I'm not doing well, we need to keep moving, we're going to do exactly that. If any of you or somebody in your party is not feeling well, please speak up for them. Again, I had a woman just about pass out on the same day I took my CPR classes and got certified. And I looked at that woman and I was like, please don't make me do this on the first day of knowing how to do it. And she cracked up laughing, but we got her home safely. So, I know, right? It was nuts. But we found out some things about her later, and I won't get into the details of that, but it was a little too much. So in the event you're getting those kind of things and you don't think it's from the humidity, let us know. Is that fair? All right, one more ghost that is actually here. So the mantle above you actually broke off from our big earthquake in 1886 and killed the first person of the earthquake. His ghost is said to be seen on the actual street of this bay. So, and those claims are from the previous owner of the King Rum Bar, aka Big John, who used to see these ghosts and got a bottle for him, you know, kind of put their light or do whatever he had to do, just to make sure he was up on the up and up with what Big John's used to stand for, because it was also a lot. So, you ready to go ghost hunting? Cars sticking around? Alright, let's do this. Let's go.
Ghost hunt. We're going ghost hunt.
You going ghost hunting? They're walking fast, honey.
That's right. I didn't want to get in your way while you're filming.
Yeah, I don't think that was for y'all to put that in, but you know.
For the tour this size, I have to kind of gauge it. Keep in mind, I have about, 10, 11 locations I can take us all to, but of course I have to cut some of them out if in the event we find too much activity. I try to keep this under 2 hours. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. I will let you guys know some of the places, and I cut out the touristy type places because not everybody has gadgets like us, and they can't go to the same places. So, Crew Cafe, the big white building behind you, looks like a giant house with a porch on the side. That is actually haunted. They've asked me to do a full investigation. I haven't done it yet due to COVID-19. Thank you very much. But I did get some readings on the EMF detector upstairs. I haven't been able to debunk it yet to find out what's going on. But apparently there was a suicide there. But that also used to be a slave home. So slave homes did not have addresses. It is obviously an expanded slave home that has a second story and is much larger than what I call a shotgun house. So just kind of keep that in mind. Hopefully I have a blog post about that place soon. Also for you history buffs down there at the red stop sign, obviously all stop signs are red in America, but we are 1 block away from the water. So what does that mean? That means that during the Revolutionary War times, the peninsula of Charleston was much smaller. We have this giant peninsula now, but it was much smaller then. So a ship came in to actually fire cannons on us, and one of the cannonballs landed right at that stop sign during Revolutionary War times. So they found pieces of it. parking lot. So you kind of have to be mindful of cars. This is the red barn where they keep the horses for the carriage rides. So, are there ponies in there? Yes. Laser people, speak lasers out of the window. We are not spooking ponies tonight. I promise you, you will not finish the tour. So, we're going to kind of keep that in mind. The other piece of history here, this is a great practice place for me to kind of bounce around with you guys and see what you're getting out of your gadgets, what you're looking for, what's coming up. And this is more of a practice session. So that way I can work with you one-on-one or one-on-pair. This is also the same red barn that held the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So that kind of dates it for you. We're probably looking about 1850s into the early 1950s. So this red barn has been here a very, very long time. This place is highly haunted. I get pretty much a different ghost every time I'm here. But I'm going to kind of bounce around with you guys and see what's happening. So, laser grid people, your green and red people, you're going to point straight down and you're going to work your way out and keep it within a 5 to 7 foot radius in front of you. Spirit box people, you literally need to separate yourselves from the other spirit box and turn it up and listen. Obviously with the thermal camera, we want a nice full sweep, nice and slow all the way across. We're trial. It's very interesting. And calcium. We talked about milk, did we not? I just got the word calcium on my spirit box. So you're going to see relevant things. I literally just talked about milk. That's a big, big deal. All right, so your EMF. So Katie, with the EMF, is going to be kind of our lead. In the event she finds somewhere that's going crazy in here, which it changes every single night, she's going to stop and say, it's going crazy, and we're all going to kind of see what we can do. Like, we're going to get the thermal camera on it, we're going to pull a grid pen over, we're going to kind of see if we can actually start a full EMF session. But I'm going to kind of bounce around with you guys a little bit, and then I'll start my own EMF session to see what we can capture. So again, lasers, low to the ground, away from windows.
There's no power in there? No electricity?
There is in the red barn?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yep, those are air conditioners that you hear now.
Okay.
So
That's what I was thinking, how
Yes.
hot it's going to be.
Yep. So I mean, basically, you guys are going to be walking around. I'm going to catch up to you. Heather, if you can just take your laser and kind of get us a base temperature on everything to see if it matches up with what is on Ken's camera. So, you know, I will relay those messages due to social distancing.
I'm getting 89.90.
89.9. So you can literally take that gun and I want you to kind of like keep the red barn low so you don't go in the windows. Hit the ground. You got this building over here.
My legs are flicking.
Just keep it out of the window. Is it in a pattern? Doesn't look like it, does it? Alright, so we want to keep the red grid kind of going right here. See if we can capture. Spirit box is up. Let's see if we can get going. Need you guys listening. Yep, there you go. There's one. Get that other spirit box up and running.
It's a red dot over his head, but it's probably the window.
So what you got? Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's the
It's going to be
window.
hotter inside the barn.
Right.
So with he's got the camera. So at times with the grid pens, you want to kind of keep them as still as possible. So you don't want to be waving that. I lost the name again. You don't want to be waving that guy around. You really want to try to hold it as still as possible.
You're working.
That's the word working.
Got the word working.
I'm working. I'm putting all of you guys.
It's working. Mama. You said you got working? I got employee. I heard
Did you
here.
really?
Yeah.
Employees and working.
And here. Oh. That's a thing that was
Good.
okay. I mean, it's kind of slowed down a little, but.
All right, well, let's find another hot spot.
Okay.
Get you guys scattered around again.
Oh.
So because we're here, try to stay away from the horses. So, yeah, definitely on the laser side. I just changed the battery.
Is that your buddy again? With California?
Could be.
Okay. Alright.
You were super excited about this, weren't you? Alright, so... Pictures, it's really dark here. In this location, it's all about the grids. So between what the other gentleman has and he's trying to capture things in the grid, it's all about trying to find that ring in the grid.
Take any pictures for you?
Yeah, up in a tree. Like at the roof line. I turned the flash on. It's something we can look at.
Just take as many as I want.
Yeah, I don't think I have a limit on space. I thought I had something blue move through the trees, and it reminded me of a trip in Savannah one time. I actually caught a picture of an orb.
Where at?
In Savannah, in one of the squares.
Okay.
The one where the trees don't grow moss on. And one of the orbs, when I zoomed in on it at home, it had what looked like a face to me.
Okay.
So
I actually had some a personal experience in Savannah. I went on a haunted weekend, stayed at the Foley House in we went to the Sorrel Weed House where we captured some really cool video, orbs and whatnot. But the next morning, our tour guide actually told us about like how the tour guides don't dress up for their part until later in the evening.
Right.
Well, I'm taking my dog out the next morning, and I see one of the guys dressed up for his tour, and he goes in one side of a pole, but didn't come out the other. And my wife says I didn't have enough coffee yet, but I know what I saw.
So you know what you saw.
Yeah, I know exactly what I saw. And I even went down that area to see where he could have gone, and it was really no other person.
Yeah, my first experience was with a small child that I saw when I had two small boys in the house, and I thought one of them was up in the middle of the night. Long story short, when I checked in the bedroom, they were both sound asleep in bed. But I saw out by my dog a full body boy, and the dog was playing, or the boy was trying to play with my dog in my house.
Can I ask what you do for a living?
I'm an auto mechanic.
I just got the word preacher. So a lot of times,
What'd you get?
preacher.
Wow. Okay.
That's interesting.
And the reason why I ask you specifically
What's
is because you guys kind
Dr. Bar?
of.
Yeah, my son has actually, when he was just a baby, I've had two different people tell me he's going to be a preacher.
Okay, how old is he now?
He's 16.
And what's he thinking about doing with his life?
Not being a preacher, but he has a definite heart, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. But that's interesting. You thought he was a preacher.
Not necessarily.
No.
It was
No,
just.
you just got the
It
word
came
preacher.
I
up.
got the word preacher,
And it
and
might
because
be
you guys asked me about
It
taking
might be
things home.
relative to talk to the coach
Yeah.
who is a preacher.
Yeah.
It came up while he's talking up,
Yeah.
so it might have some relevance.
It might.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
I mean,
We'll
I
have
usually
to
try
follow
to.
and see what other
I try to
words
tie
come
it to somebody who's already passed on. I try not to attach it to anybody living, unless a specific name comes
Yeah.
up. So in the event I get his name, which I don't want you to tell me what it is.
Okay.
Right.
Because if it
pops
pops
up
up,
on it,
then we know what it is.
that's validation.
Isn't
Exactly.
that just so weird? I remember when I had him, I had a Mercy C-section. I'd been in there for a few days, and a nurse came in, and she was doing something, and she was leaving. She goes, "He's going to be a preacher." And then at the time, my best friend, someone told her that because she was telling a guy about me having a baby.
That thing's going crazy.
And
too.
somebody said to her, "He's going to be a preacher." So I mean, it's crazy.
It is pretty crazy. I'm actually going to turn on my spirit box to see if I can actually capture something.
Okay.
And I got to work only twice. Alright, so who do I have here with me tonight?
Get that food. I take pictures of that food too.
Ryan. Very small.
It's like, it's all red now, but
How many of us are actually here right now? How many are in this party? How many of us do you see? Got two go to the restroom at the candy store, so I want to see if we get a number. I usually ask questions that are not yes or no. So you guys don't have to care if I see this all that. How many of us are here right now? It's close, but it's not definitive enough for me to have proof. Like when I hear it, it's going to be 9, or they'll count up. They'll go 7, 8, 9. It happens all the time. They went to the restroom. The gentleman walked on. There's 8. You got to keep trying. There's more of us here than 8. Location, and when I hear something, I repeat it again, so that way you guys can rewind it for 5 seconds and validate what I heard. So it's always handy to have the list with you when you're listening, so that way you can see, because I'll repeat those words too. So if you see the word speak, you know it wasn't something I heard, it's something on the list. Something. How many of us do you see now? So you also, I asked the question several times. So we didn't get a response. I usually wait about 2 minutes. You got to give them time to answer. They have to get the energy to be able to answer. We didn't get a number. So I'm going to start asking about a name. Some people like to tell us about their name. It's very simple for them to say. So who do I have with me tonight? Aaron. Sometimes I'll ask a different question. Like last time I asked, how many are with me tonight? And it gave me the exact number. It excluded me. How many are with me? So spin. We're not going to spin. I do get like
thinking of us.
One night I asked how many are with me and I said 100. Like it literally gave me 100.
We need to listen to him.
So it's kind of like, all right, let's move on.
Coming from the other side, you never know how to interpret it.
Yeah.
We are from the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is weird.
Not necessarily.
Really?
So, is it Virginia? Okay, so what's funny is 3 nights ago, I had a group, and they were telling me about St. John Wilderness. Like randomly throughout the tour because it's haunted and they want to go there. At the end of the tour, I got the name John, and then I got the word wilderness, which is not a common thing for me to see on a work list. So the fact that we actually have this 2 words, they were from y'all will bring some stuff down to the floor and hands, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You even keep my bad juju to myself.
Did you guys hear anything on your spirit box?
Yes. We heard a little, it sounded like a little girl said,
Okay, what else?
and
With? did have two people leave together.
Yes.
They went to the restaurant. They went with kind of a, again, I'm going to try to attach it every time, but at the end of the day, it's only 20% that I'm going to say this was the deal. But I do have the word spin, and we're all standing in somewhat of a circle. Yeah, no smart ass. Who's here? My name's Nick. You guys know me already. Say my name. I'm gonna say hi to Nick. Just getting random stuff on the game. Alright, so does everybody kind of have a gist of how their gadgets work now that we have the rest of our party back? Okay. We're actually going to move on to the next location so we can learn some Charleston history. This was, again, kind of the practice session, see what we captured out of it. You guys actually got some really good stuff with being a personal connection. That's the best kind of tour for me, is when it's personal for you guys. Because I can make stuff up all night long and you guys wouldn't know any different. I'd just be Zach Bagans making it.
I understand that, dude.
Alright, let's take a hike.
He does make up a lot of stuff. We've got to keep a TV show interesting now. Zach Bagans.
Oh, I thought you met him. I was like, really?
No, he's the one of those ghost hunting shows, Ghost Adventures.
No, it wasn't with Bulldog. Ours was with
Old carriage. Yeah, that's not me, but there's the carriage rides here, and then your old carriage is 2 blocks down on the left. So you can go through this lot and make a left, it'll be on your left hand side.
Oh,
You're close.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we go hunting. We not touring, we hunting.
Oh, this is good.
Just so happens.
This is good.
Yes. Good. Good. So her EMF is going crazy. So this is actually a big part of Charleston history. I know it's a parking lot now, but here it goes. Check this out. Super cool. Has anybody taken a Charleston history tour yet since you've been down here?
Yeah, this one.
I could just lie to you guys all night long then.
Several
We Google it.
Wouldn't be the first time. Right? I know, I'm one of those writers. So, all right, so we are actually standing, guys, on the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion site. So who are these folks? Their son Charles and his cousin Charles. Yes, I just mentioned 3 Charles. Not the dad, but the son and the cousin. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? The 2 younger ones were signers of our Constitution. Super cool, right? But I don't care about politics. We're going to talk about Eliza. So Eliza, we all know that Charleston's known for its plantations, right? Big rice plantations. Anybody know what was after rice? No. No. Indigo. Good job. Eliza Pinckney is the founder of our indigo crops. So here's how the story goes. Eliza married Charles to stay here in the United States. She's from England. I'm giving you clues to listen and hear for her later. So she's from England. Daddy wanted her home because he was sick, thought he was dying. She married Charles to stay here in the States. Daddy got better. They made amends. Daddy started sending her stuff over from England, silks and all kinds of things and plants because she was a botanist. So one of those plants happened to be indigo. What's indigo? Indigo makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. So there's a Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus, The World According to, that talks all about indigo and why blue jeans are blue. So super cool. Cool thing about it is those crops started right where you're standing. So the mansion would have been in the front, her garden would have been lined up with that blue dumpster, no pun intended, and then the slave homes would have been back here on these back spaces. So, a couple things to know about Eliza, and things to listen for and things to ask when you're actually exploring this lot. But please pay attention of cars and things moving around. So this will be spirit boxes up and definitely listening. She loves to chat. So, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza. The Eliza I'm talking about is Eliza Lucas Pinckney. So you can ask what her maiden name was. She'll tell you. You can ask her how old she was. She told us very clearly last night on the spirit box app. As soon as we walked in, we got the number. Try to get that number for me. I'm not going to tell you what that is. She had 4 children. Tell me what their names are. 3 boys, 1 daughter. It's easy to find out who the daughter is. Stands out. If you ask for a son, you have the possibility of 3 different names. Try to know who the daughter is. These are colonial times that I'm talking about. So not only did she start the indigo plants, she's also the businesswoman. Think about that. Businesswoman in colonial times. That's crazy. Who sold it overseas and made it successful and saved Charleston. That's a huge deal for us because rice plantations went to hell in a handbasket. We couldn't do anything with that anymore. It was done. It was over. So we needed something else. Indigo saved Charleston. You're going to see places like the Indigo Inn and all over, that kind of stuff all over Charleston. It's named because of what she did. So, super cool thing. Katie, I want you to stand right behind these folks, and I want you to hold that up. See that light blinking? Like you're gonna take a selfie.
Okay.
And I want everybody to see this.
And
Another reason why I give this to a teenager or somebody around that age. A lot of times when that light is blinking, because it doesn't always blink, it will be in sync with that EMF detector to tell you how much energy is actually here. Sometimes it stays on, sometimes it's blinking pretty slow. If somebody wants to film it and test it, it's usually within 2 frames if their surges are exactly the same. So it's blinking rather rapidly tonight, which tells me we're probably going to get a lot of activity out of it. So she's going to have red lights all over the place, which that's what it's all about. This place has only let me down twice, where I literally had no activity, no EMF, no anything came out of here. So kind of keep that in mind. If I had a grand finale, this would be it. So, let's get spirit boxes running. Thermal imaging 10. Let's get nice slow sweeps. You're going to learn a lot about the heated cars and the way that projects. Lasers, obviously we want to keep them down. And what's kind of weird, let's keep them below the wall. That's usually the rule of thumb I have here. There's a wall all the way around. So, there has been an apparition seen in this particular spot when there was a bar here in this place where it became a parking lot. But it was not Eliza. It turned out to be her name because of the period style of the room. Again, ask Eliza questions that are not yes or no or very specific things that I just told you. So, let's see what we can capture. As far as these little pictures, again, another dark area. But if you want to get some of the grids that are working, by all means, go for it. Other pictures are just going to show up super long. Sorry, I tested that earlier. Again, with yours, again, base temperatures on everything. Ground, the wall, the trailer, the whole 9 yards. We know that the temperature is normally this is obviously
I want you to take pictures with the trees and stuff. You okay?
heard your latte.
I was just thinking of that.
You what?
think that's the cars. See if it does it when the cars aren't going by. Look in that window. That's the back of that car right there. It's not doing it now.
Something is happening either, and I did get the word video on the way over here, so that's kind of a clue for me to watch the video in between where we were standing. Did you
I was
capture that?
seeing something in the back window of that in the blue. I mean, it's not doing it now. That's why I was trying to get closer.
Okay.
It was popping up from below, coming up and down.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if it was the cars going in the background.
It may have been, but again, when it's up on my TV, I can see it much better.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my daughter sit down and watch these back to back to back, and we try to capture stuff, and we just write notes and get back to folks.
And it was the light blue color coming up.
Good. Well, again, with the parking lot, the heat from the cars projects down, obviously.
And cars coming from the other side.
Yep.
So who knows?
Mercy. It just said mercy.
Mercy? Is that what I heard? Mercy?
Mercy. Did they just say, does the name Molly mean anything?
That was double cow. Well, no.
But I guess when you said preacher, I started thinking about preacher.
What name did you just say, Molly? Polly. With a P. Okay.
Sorry, I'm me and my bad juju.
Cool.
Keep it in Virginia.
No, we actually do think that our house is haunted that we live in. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we can't explain.
Super cool is on the top of where you guys are going to get your evidence. I list all the apps that I use, and there's also the list of every single gadget in your hands and where you can find them. Most of them are on Amazon. And honestly, it's all relatively cheap. The only super expensive thing in this whole thing is the cameras. So the thermal and the digital are the only things that paid more than $70.
Just randomly.
Randomly taking
Gotcha, okay.
the ground and stuff like that. I haven't really been there.
You're taking with the phone too, right?
It's like Charlie Brown. I've got a wall.
He's very skeptical.
Seem open-minded.
But today, he's got one instance today.
We were there.
And they're on New York Town. It's over there near the and I'm standing there, and I wasn't on my phone. It's not like I was scatterbrained or anything. I'm just standing there looking at the cafe, and I felt like my phone walked behind me, and I was like, God, it's hot, ain't it?
Nobody was there.
He was all the way over the airplane.
So let me tell you what I find.
I said 50.
I usually have this running. I can't go with all gadgets when I'm using my computer. And I get a lot of names. But the theme behind everything, when you look at it collectively, it's all religious, Bible, preacher. We talked about preacher earlier. But it was all like things that were all like my daughter was with me. She's 14. And she's just like, why do you keep getting all this stuff? I'm like, you have to think about the time period that people were on this ship and these aircraft carriers.
It was a scary time.
It was a scary time, and they're religious Christians. So, like, they're praying. They're talking to God. They're reading their Bibles. Like, that's what happened here. So it makes sense that we were getting all of those type of words. And again, usually your list is themed somehow.
What you doing?
Scratching
This
my
is a little
foot.
different because I mean we're bouncing and bouncing, but if we're in one location, it's themed. 2 nights after the riot, my list was completely pissed off at the riots that happened 2 nights ago because the aftermath of it was go away, rally, anger, like all of these things that was like you can't deny that it was about the riots and the way our town looked 2 days after a major riot down here. I mean the spirits were pissed. This was their home.
Should have came out and scared everybody else.
I did a tour that night. It was crazy. 15 cruisers by Big John's just to get to my tour, and I'm the guy with the bag that nobody stopped. I'm carrying a bag this size, and nobody stopped me. 15 cruisers up there, and they're worried about the people, doing their healing thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go by.
Nothing to see here.
All right, so what do you guys? What else did you guys hear?
50 and 54.
50, 54. Shame on you and right now.
So you have something of reference.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Shame on you.
So 54.
She's like, hey.
My mistake.
Yeah.
It's 54 and what?
50. And then I heard 80.
It's like super cold.
And then
We also heard you get the back of that truck.
33.90.
I thought you actually had like the birth
Oh,
year.
okay. I was going to say, yeah, you must know that.
1954.
Mama.
Very hot.
Going crazy again now that we're talking about her? Can you stop talking about the real time? Nothing yet. She was here on TV station. That's actually up the road by Calhoun. By Calhoun Street. So we started, there's where we started, where it says work, so that's my job. 393 is way up the road that way. So
That's irrelevant.
it's irrelevant. At least on an address standpoint. I don't have any other way to come back. So. I thought 50 or 54 might have been something, but it wasn't. She was 70 when she died. But you guys would hear, as soon as I turned it on in this location, I got a hello and then a light.
When you see this picture, it's
I didn't stay there.
yeah, they were walking away.
Never
I
even
think that's what it was. They took a picture of them.
I did not. Stay there. Stay there.
We were over there like
Those two guys are coming over here.
Yeah, but the thing about putting
She
them on
likes
a
to give directions.
computer,
So if, like, if I have a group of points of
zooming in
action,
on
say
it.
come up front. And it'll say it right on the spirit box or I hear front on the spirit boxes. So it's kind of like, we need to move up. Let's go find out where we are. One of the other questions I'll ask is,
We're talking about her and
she's just going to answer.
it's like there's mist or something.
I just think it's because there's
And
no.
don't, I mean, obviously, cancer wouldn't have been a thing back in 1783. Angelie? That's interesting because that is a very
Emily?
specific name. So I used to get Olivia all the time when I came between the Red Barn and here. And one night I decided I'm going to Google it and find out what the Olivia reference is because it just kept coming up all the time. Olivia Middleton also is a plantation owner. We're talking about the late 1800s, but Eliza was in the late 1700s. So we're talking the whole century in between. But they were
her zodiac sign is Cancer and it's her birthday today.
Oh,
Probably where'd that come from?
and I got the word neat. So somebody say, how neat is it that it's her birthday? I thought this wasn't going to be a comedy tour, but you guys are having a lot of fun, so I gotta feed it. All right, so got some things. You guys actually had some things show up on the spirit boxes that I can kind of research a little bit more. In order for us to be able to get to a decent amount of spots, I'm going to move us on. We're going to be walking about 4 blocks up East Bay Street to get to the next location. So with that said, please keep filming because we never know where we're going to find things. Digital pictures, by all means, if you want to take those pictures alongside of the road, you can. Grids and lasers pretty much need to be pocketed, so we're not shining cars. And as far as the spirit boxes, by all means, you're going to be walking in a group behind you. Listen if you want to. Let me know what you heard when we get to the next spot. But again, everybody got comfortable shoes on. The next spot is cobblestone, so I want to make sure everybody's going to be good. If you got comfy shoes on, you're a little high, so please be careful.
Yeah.
So hold her hand if you can for me. You seem pretty stable.
Come on,
All right,
Heyward.
you guys ready? All right, let's do this.
Something simple.
You okay with the walk in, Heather?
Somebody might be texting me, babe.
Who?
I couldn't see it without my glasses. Be careful, they can. Honey, are you going to that candy shop real quick and get a couple of orders?
If you want to.
It was really cold when you passed by that, but I think it's coming from underneath there. So let me do this. Yeah. Oh, hey. He said if I got below 80 to tell him, and that's 76.
Yeah, in that center of it, I'm hitting like 79, 78. So
Yeah.
it's matching.
But I don't know if that's just a vent, like air coming out of it, or if it's something.
Probably air conditioning.
You know,
behind
you
it.
think?
It's probably cool inside.
Okay. So, I mean, that building.
We've fallen way behind.
Okay, I'll picture it with you in a minute.
I thought you were someone told me.
Well, he thinks too burnt off.
país y de otro país. ¿Sabes cómo entra a casa? Mira.
Ahí tenemos una foto para todos.
Espérate, hijo, espérate.
Todos. Hijo, ¿por qué se van a tomar una foto ahí?
So I don't know if it's gonna go or not.
idea where they went.
Really?
They were moving so fast. They could have turned left here on Queen Street. I
No,
thought.
because he said 4. He said 4 blocks.
Well, how many is this?
We're only on number 2.
You might have to text them or call them. I tried to call you, but
I think we're pretty good.
yeah.
And he's probably on that Chalmers.
Yeah, but I didn't know how far Chalmers was from where we at.
Oh.
A lot of people turned down that way
Oh,
at
really?
the light, but I couldn't see if it was
He
our
said
group
4
or not.
blocks down that way, is what he said. And this is like number 3.
Way back here. Jason got like 2 blocks.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you so much. I thought he said 4 blocks.
No, we're way back here.
Thank you for catching us.
I was trying to follow.
How did you see us?
It's my pink shirt.
Just like you down with the laser. When I saw you pass at the end of the sidewalk.
So they did turn down that
They
way.
did. They're down one of these alleys.
Wow. I'm so glad she caught us. We were going, I was going 4 blocks.
I was thinking.
I thought that. Yeah.
You got a gal, right?
Man, this is a workout.
Well, we're walking extra for sure.
You just keep on going. We're right behind you.
One of the cobblestone.
Oh, you guys turned even sooner than I thought. Cobblestone Alley. I would never have seen. I didn't see them turn. Yeah, hit an air conditioning spot.
For these men, not just for their family and friends and spouses, but from the paranormal realm as well. So hundreds of years ago, a witch on Wausau Island called for the who had split heel.
Don't worry, I got it all on film.
I feel bad. I feel like I went too fast. And I know I told you I'll take it slow with the camera. So.
She was headed down 4 blocks.
I thought you were going down to Chalmers because you said 4 blocks.
Said cobblestone, and that's the only road we knew that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that's residential. So tour guides technically aren't allowed to be tour guides. in
Hold that a
residential
second.
areas. With that being said, the end of this alley
Okay,
is
crack this.
residential. We're gonna go. We're going to be 12 friends ghost hunting. We're gonna make a right. I'm gonna stay to the right of the alley with the flashlights, because it gets very dark up there, so that way y'all can see. I already kind of told like what happens here, except for the Masons used to be here as well. So if we get anything related to the Masonites that were down here on the spirit boxes. Yes.
My grandfather was a pretty Mason.
Okay. Which part of the country was that?
It's sober and ugly.
Okay. So, interesting. Lots of history out of all of you guys so far tonight. You all had a story to tell, which is awesome. It's hard for me to keep track because I talk to so many people from all over the country. But again, I'll stay to the right with a flashlight on my phone so everybody can see. Again, we're going to be hitting residential areas. So we're going to kind of... Interesting. There are a lot of words on this. I missed a lot. Heavy, then softly, spot, ride, word, agree, figure, press, Riley, adultery, phrase, industrial, dawn, and done. So I don't know if dawn is going to be a relevant person that used to live here, so we're going to find out.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
They told her Alabama.
I'm from Alabama. Yeah.
So we got the word Alabama on a spirit box, which was super cool. So again, let's take a hike down here, and we're going to go on to the next step.
Yeah, really good.
Flashlight going so everybody can see.
And then she was just talking, and she was like, "Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
doing that."
I thought, there she goes. And so I was doing like this. I was like,
No, you were able to catch up. So
finally I was
running.
like, ghost tour people. I don't remember their names. And all these people, that restaurant girl looked at me.
Ghost tour people.
Yeah, everybody looks at you silly because you're holding a camera up like this.
Well, and I've got these, and I don't know if that looks like some type of gun. These people are gonna, they're gonna think you're crazy. You really hit rock bottom.
There's that tree.
I'm curious of what we can capture with it down here. Not to mention, those are great pictures for all you vacationers. Just 2 or 3, just to see what you can capture. There we go. All right.
Good job.
You want my phone to take some pictures down there?
Of down there?
Thing just went big. To the what?
To the right.
Just swipe the bottom.
Yeah.
No, press that bar.
Oh.
We take a shortcut. Careful.
It's okay. I just
Pictures.
okay.
hunting, guys.
Alright, everybody to the other side. There's a story here. Execution style again. Have a seat, relax. I know it's humid and hot. Y'all look sweaty. Which means I probably look sweaty. So, guys, this is every other ghost story's big finale. So I'm going to give you the story here in about 3 to 4 minutes time, and I'm not going to make it a big dramatic thing. But the cool thing about what we do here versus what everybody else does here, this is a myth, it's a legend, it's lore from Charleston. We have guys just to either prove it or disprove it. I believe in it, so we're going to find out what we actually can capture. So the story, this is, let me start where we are. We are in what was originally known as Cow Alley. Called it Cow Alley because this is where they used to keep the livestock in Charleston. Right? Very simple. Then it became Dealers Alley. We'll let these folks walk by.
We're in Cow Alley.
Then it became Duelers Alley. So this is where the duels were happening in Charleston. Like they would literally back to back, take 20 paces, turn and shoot. Like talking duels. And then it's now known as Philadelphia Alley because after dueling became illegal, we had to name it after somebody that helped us through one of our many, many fires. And I don't even know which fire they helped us with, but Philadelphia, Pennsylvania bailed us out. So that piece of that by. So the story starts, keep in mind, Duelers Alley had hundreds, if not thousands of duels that happened here. We tell one story. That's why I say it's legend and lore. It's of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He was from New Jersey. He moved down here because he was going to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. She just inherited a bunch of money from her deceased parents. The lawyer said, no, you guys aren't getting married yet. Go finish your studies and start your practice elsewhere. He comes down to Charleston. The coachman sets him up to be robbed and killed where he was going to drop him off. Not a very good start to his Charlestonian life. Somebody walking by, Ralph Isaacs, looks like we've got another tour coming by. Oh, he's going to hang out here. So, Ralph Isaacs walks by and says this is not a good place to stay. So he takes him to 59 Church Street, 1.4 miles from this gate behind me. That's important. So, he gets rents a room upstairs. He's very happy. He starts his practice. He's known as the Whistling Doctor. If you Google the Whistling Doctor, this is the story you'll get in much more detail. So, the two become friends, but the doctor's moving up in society in the hierarchy of Charleston because he's a doctor. He's known as the Whistling Doctor. He's very happy. So, they used to go see plays, but they had to sit in different seats because of money things and how the hierarchy worked here in Charleston. But they would talk about the plays on the way home. They went to go see Richard III. Don't know why that's a specific detail, but it is. They're talking about one of the actresses that was in town at, I don't know which theater. The doctor loved her. Ralph did not. It turned into an insult party on the doctor's wife back home, Amanda. The two get ticked off at each other. They go their separate ways. They each go home. Ralph, being a regular Charlestonian, writes in the local paper what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here. He takes our money, this, that, and the other. The doctor rebuttals with, let's settle it in Duelers Alley. So they come down here. The doctor would have been on this side. Church Street is that way. Ralph would have been on the other side. They take the 20 paces. They turn. The doctor shoots his gun in the air. He doesn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point. However, Ralph Isaacs takes 2 shots below the knees. Now, normally, the loser of a duel, when it was Duelers Alley, would go through this gate, over to St. Philip's Cemetery, straight into their grave, and then everybody would go to have a pint and go celebrate the winner. That's how life and times were back then. However, Ralph, the doctor didn't die. He just fell to the ground with 2 gunshots in his legs. So his friends pick him up, they carry him to 1.4 miles to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. Now, the reason why that's important to what we're doing tonight is because it is said that you can actually hear the whistle as you go through. So we have the audio from 2 devices, Ken's camera, mine. You can turn up your spirit boxes slightly. Where's the loud one at? Let's try to keep that to a minimum when we get to the very end. It's residential. People live on this alley. Now, I just told you one really cool thing you'll never hear on any other tour, which is what I call the death gate. This is literally what this was meant for. This is the original wall. So this hole, not this particular gate, is all original. That's why it was built the way that it was. So the other interesting thing is that the bricks actually get older as we walk along. The bricks you're on now were replaced in the 1990s. Not for pretty reason. As we get older, there are sun-dried bricks that were turned by slave children. fingerprints in those bricks. We have one full handprint in those bricks. So, I will point out the full handprint. If you look down towards the end, you guys can see the fingerprints. They're pretty obvious. But the handprint, I will point out to the person behind me. So again, residential, I have to keep moving. So kind of point it out. If you wanted to grab pictures of it, be quick. Because again, it's somebody's home. To be respectful. We're going to make a left outside the alley. Your EMF is going to go crazy in the middle of the alley. That's the Footlight Players Club, which means it's the actor studio for Doc Street Theater. So I could have taken you guys all the way over to the front of St. Philip's Cemetery. But again, we're kind of running a little tight on time. But the quick story there. So you can look this up. I don't show the picture on my tour just because it's cursed. But there's a sign right in front of the cemetery that says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. Okay? Very specific, stay out, no ghosts. It's a lie. 1888, a woman named Susan Howard Hardy passed away 10 days after her stillborn child. 1988, exactly 100 years later, we have a photographer in town. He's taking pictures all over town. He goes in between the wrought iron gates and he shoots a picture of a full apparition with a woman with a shawl and a baby basket next to her, next to the two graves. 1988, no cell phones, no Photoshop, none of that. He sends it off to Kodak to debunk it. Kodak could not debunk the picture. It is said that any woman that holds it, say on a cell phone, will not feel well. Any pregnant woman that holds it will not have a very good pregnancy. I'm a very superstitious man, as I'm sure you all can imagine, running ghost tours, that I'm not going to show you this picture. Susan Howard Hardy is her name. If you want to look it up on your computer, by all means, look it up. It's online. You can't miss it. It comes up right in the search page. So, that's the big story there. There's a lot that goes on with Doc Street Theater, but I actually don't have literal proof that it's one of the top 10 haunted places in America. My investigation says no, but I have my other beliefs about it. So, we're going to walk through. If you guys couldn't tell, they're not very friendly with me. I take their business. I'm the Lone Ranger. They're this big monster. So, again, you have to work while. I got all kinds of words, but I don't see anything of relevance yet. So, you guys all look very tired. You guys good? One more spot?
Yep.
All right, let's do this.
The death gate. Watch your step here.
Philadelphia alley. So if anybody's a big vacation picture taker, that's a perfect spot with St. Philip's in the background. So just like to point that out.
Especially with the valley.
Yeah, I had my hand on it.
you.
Again, if you want to hang back, I can take a picture going that way. How would you want to be going that way?
Yeah, I want you to take a picture too.
Take picture that way.
Actually, wrap you guys around the corner. You guys can see how sweaty I am. I take my glasses off. Usually Lodge Alley is about the point where I can't see out my glasses anymore. So, alright, so one last stop. The building catty corner from you guys, the big brick building over there. It's condos now, so yes, people live there, and they're turning the very front of it into 4 wedding reception areas, 3 indoor and 1 rooftop. So very expensive waterfront wedding reception areas. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. We're still working on construction, which is great for us because construction usually stirs up paranormal activity. Now, that place is called the Wagner Building. 3 syllables, Wagner. Us ignorant Americans would probably say Wagner, but it's not. It's Wagner. But it was part of our cotton industry, and the back of it was the warehouse, the front of it was the offices for that business. Now, an interesting story about this is the word elegant, by the way. George Pereira was the last person to own it as a cotton warehouse. He inherited the business from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing because he was were killed. He was a silver spoon kid, so he really had no idea what business he was getting himself into. And when it happened was, we had the boll weevil in town. The boll weevil was the cotton. So he was really up the street. His dad, you know, was doing business-wise, very depressed. He didn't know what's going on. So what's he do? He goes behind the American government and he sells all the cotton from within the warehouse to the British. So the British, at the end of the street, is 1 block away
That's
from
my
Pineapple
friend
Park.
Kathy, but I never talked to her.
It was much closer. So the British ship pulls up, we unload it from the back warehouse. I'm sorry, did we come up with something?
No.
Oh, I didn't know if you guys caught something.
Hey, what is it? Oh, they said killed.
Yeah. And I have no idea what this means. It did pop. Like gibberish. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to have to Google that. Anyway, so where were we? British pulls up, we unload it from the back of the warehouse, and somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe. So the whole ship goes up in flames. George is watching from the 2nd-story window in the front. He's not very happy. His dad's legacy just went down in flames. He's now ashamed. And not to mention, he didn't get enough money to pay off all the debt. So he piles up all the furniture. The sad thing about this is the newspaper came the next morning is the one that caught him. Sorry about all the trouble. So there was also a window crack in front of the building, and they say it broke out and they missed the Pereira before the newspaper did. So he was pretty chewed up by a crow. Oh. So it's said that you can see the shadow of the swinging corpse from the 2nd-story window. Now, here's what's neat. It's an interesting building. These are pyramids. Right? You get a lot of activity, I get nothing. I'm just being upfront with you guys. I get another ghost here that likes to talk to me. Swinging from the house. Interesting. So, 1 block away from Philadelphia Alley, where we just came out of, is Coogan's Porch. Sure, if you guys look up ghost stories in Charleston, you know what Coogan's Porch is. Basically, Coogan was the dog, and the woman that owned that was Zoe St. Amand. Zoe died by falling down the stairs. The other interesting thing about Zoe is that she spells her name without the Y. Her name has come up for me, Z-O-E, twice with the word stairs attached. Maybe she hobbled down the stairs. Undertake. Like, it's just spitting out words. That's a good thing. So last night when I'm walking up this the side of the building, I asked Zoe, what type of business did you run? And I got restaurant, super fast. Now, it's still there, it's still haunted. Zoe can be found in the ladies' restroom. And then Coogan will actually pull on your pant legs if you're wearing pants. Coogan's a dog. It's a neighborhood dog. He didn't live there, but it's named after him. There's many Coogans around town, but Coogan's porch is the original. That's where you want to go if you're looking for ghosts. By all means, take this app with you. What I do is that when I am in a haunted restaurant, I open this and I put it right in the center of the table. And I just wait to see what happens. My daughter watches it the whole time and it gets her to eat. So that's all I care about. So, we're going to cross legally twice. A couple things. Your spirit boxes are good. Like, you probably won't be able to hear them on a busy street Saturday night once we get up there. So listen to them. I'll walk slower alongside of the building. We're going to play with your laser when you get up front and testing something. So we're going to test something out with yours. What else do we have? Camera. By all means, keep taking pictures. And the video, the pictures. Where do we have time? Yeah, it's already 10. We got a little bit. So we may venture across the street to get bigger, wider pictures of the place. That way I can have my wife analyze them. Well, I did tell you guys about my wife. She's a very big part of Stories in the Cemetery. She creates the logos for Stories in the Cemetery. She also does all my book covers. She does all my headshots. Like, she is my graphic designer that lives with me. It's amazing. So I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I give her the ideas and she runs with it. So when we actually do like those pictures, I'm going to send them to her. And I gave her one from 2 nights ago this morning, and she couldn't do it. She's like, I couldn't even have it. And that one with the figures in there, totally creepy, which is awesome. So let's cross legally twice, and let's see what we can capture. Let's wait for this car to go by, I guess.
It's fucking cold air, but it was air conditioning.
Of that building, and everybody sees kind of like the white crest along the very top, and there's another one right below it, about 5 to 7 feet below it. Sometimes I can get a 30-degree difference between the two, and there shouldn't be. That kind of gives you the gist of what's actually going on. I got 66.5 degrees there. 86.7. You have a 20-degree difference, and I don't have an explanation why. You're going to go crazy because the ley lines for the crosswalks are underneath the street. Pay no mind to that. So spirit boxes are good here. Again, I got a 20-degree difference with no explanation. Like, there's really no reason for that. And usually, again, it's different every night. Sometimes it's 5 degrees, sometimes it's 30. It's very humid tonight. We shouldn't be 66 degrees at the very top of that building. You work in construction. Can you help us out with that, maybe? I mean, I thought it might be a breeze coming from the water that's being blocked by some of the buildings that's going over top. But really, 5 to 7 feet below that, we got a 20-degree difference, and I have no, other than the fact that this place is haunted as hell. This also used to be a brewery where the taps would turn on, cold spots would go by, that kind of thing. So, again,
What
nice.
made you check that temperature?
Actually, it wasn't me. It was one of my guests one night was just shooting it all over the place because I said, you can shoot the windows. There's nobody in there. Let's see if there's temperature difference. And he went to the very top and happened to notice there was a big gap. So he went a little bit further down. I've been testing it for 2 weeks now. It's the same thing every night. 5 to 30 degrees difference. 5 I can see, but 30? Even now, it's at 20. Doesn't make any sense. So, you guys turn your spirit boxes off. I take it. All right. Let me see what's on my spirit box for just a second before I start collecting. What kind of questions or what kind of comments do you guys have for me based on what we did tonight? Questions, comments, concerns? Again, I think we had some really good stuff out of some of your spirit boxes. I mean, we had some relevant things come up that I might have to look up and dive into. We'll see what comes out of the picture. We'll see what comes out of my audio. And obviously the thermal video. And you guys actually had a few things that came up too, which is super awesome. So, again, this is, you never know what you're going to find. Every night is different for me. That's what makes this exciting. I'm not reading a script. I'm telling you guys the same story, but I don't know what's happening with the gadgets.
Now, which window is it?
I don't know which window. I know what floor.
I mean, okay, was it your window or was it this one?
Well, they say you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse through a window, but I don't know which window. I'm not going to make that up and say, hey, it's that one. I would imagine with this, like his office would have been right there in the center. But again, I wasn't living during those times.
If it's a condo, I would never think.
Well, the condos are in the back. And
Are they?
Yeah,
So
I've actually had guests that say that they knew somebody that lived back there that's never reported to them that there was any kind of activity. So again, it might just be.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I got fire, ship, cotton trade, insect, I was talking about the whole evil, like all of these things from this location. And again, it's either hit or miss. Sometimes it's super active where I can have full conversations. Oh, you know, I got this, where there's nothing happening. So, yeah, and most of the audio. And I normally don't make a list, but I mean, I'd be working literally 14-hour days trying to keep up with all the evidence. But I'm going to start collecting, and then I'll get you guys my cards. So what's going to happen now is the people that book the tour will get a text from me in the morning, and that text will be a direct link to all the evidence. I 99% of the time have that up by noon. I get up super early and start uploading and watching and listening and all that other stuff and kind of take it from there. So I'm just trying to get this tool. I see you guys actually. Audio real quick. Freely if you guys have questions. So what did you guys think? Did we capture anything? Is this what you thought it was going to be? Not sure?
An interesting history.
I thought it was interesting, yes.
So, of course, TripAdvisor is my best friend. If y'all can leave a review. No pressure, but I only have 1 4-star. Everything else is 5. Who else has gadgets? Just you?
Yep.
All right, so let me get you guys my cards, and we're still on square? Good job. I am so glad I don't have to upload more than one. That happens.